Pokemon here. Today's video, I am finally going to sit down and talk about the Collecticon event, which took place June 26th and 27th down in Frisco, Texas. This was actually the second Collecticon event that took place. The first event took place in early to mid-March, I believe. This second event took place at the same exact hotel, same convention center, June 26th and 27th, like I said. The event organizers for Collecticon were advertising this second event as being double the size, double the fun, or something along those lines. And they honestly did not disappoint whatsoever. The actual convention center where the event took place was at least double the size as the event previous. The number of vendors at this second event, there were at least double the amount of vendors at the second event compared to the first event. And there were at least double the amount of people just kind of walking around, purchasing, selling, trading, whatever. So at least double the amount of people going to this event compared to the first event, which was absolutely incredible. The first event back in March, I went down as a just kind of to walk around and hang out with everyone. And I thought that event was really good. This second one was absolutely unbelievable. Had an absolute blast down there. But me and a friend of mine, Gem-Mint Pokemon, Zach, went down to this second Collecticon event as a vendor. We were lucky enough to get one table for the event, so we split one table. We both had half the table. And this was actually the first event that we went down as vendors. Neither of us had ever gone to an event like this as a vendor, so it was a really interesting experience, learned a lot, and had an absolute blast at the event. But this video, I'm going to be talking about Collecticon through the eyes of a vendor, kind of give you a breakdown on how much it cost me to go to the event, how much I actually made at the event, and then at the end, I'll kind of give a breakdown of whether or not it was worthwhile to attend one of these events as a vendor. So hopping right into it, going to be talking about the costs involved with this actual event. So to start off, I live outside of Boston, Massachusetts. The event was down in Frisco, Texas, so I had to obviously fly down. I left my house Friday morning. I stayed Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. I flew home Monday afternoon. So the costs involved, I spent 3 nights in the hotel attached to the convention center. So 3-night hotel stay plus the hotel bar and restaurant, all that combined, $832.22. The nice thing about this was the event organizers for Collecticon had an agreement with the hotel that if you were staying at the hotel for the Collecticon event, you got a special promo code, and it made the rooms a little bit cheaper compared to if you were just staying at the hotel for whatever reason. So that was nice. The hotel price was very reasonable in my opinion. Other hotels in the area were around the same price. Really wasn't much cheaper from what I saw. And plus, the hotel that I stayed at was right attached to the convention center, so you could literally walk out of your room, take the elevator down to the lobby, and walk right into the convention center, which was nice, as opposed to having to drive to the convention center or walk there, whatever. So yeah, in total, 3-night stay at the hotel, $832.22. Next up, we have the round trip flight plus transportation to and from the airport. So I selected a nonstop direct flight from Boston to Texas just because I really can't stand being in the airports. I really hate everything about flying. I'm not like nervous to fly or anything like that. I just can't stand being in the airport and waiting around and having nothing to do. So yeah, I like to spend as little time as possible in the airport. So I selected a nonstop flight, which definitely added to the cost here. But for me, it was well worth it. So round trip flight plus transportation to and from, meaning I got a ride from my house to the airport and then from the airport to the hotel and vice versa on the way home. So all that combined, $691.48. Next up, all of the kind of supplies that were needed for the actual event. We really didn't have much notice that we were going to be a vendor at this event. We had about a week's notice. A table just happened to open up last minute, so we were able to grab that. So we really didn't have too much notice. We found out that we got a table at the event, and we found out that we needed to have a banner for the event. So originally, we just made a 6-foot by 3-foot banner with both of our YouTube banners attached to it. So it was my YouTube banner and then Gem-Mint Pokemon's YouTube banner. And we thought we could kind of put that in the front of our table, but then we found out that we needed a retractable banner, which is roughly the same size, except it's instead of being horizontal, it's vertical, and it can kind of fold up and down. So we originally bought that one banner that we thought we were going to put in the front of our table. Then we found out we needed the retractable banner, so we ended up doing one single banner plus two retractable banners, one for each of us. So I have my own retractable banner, and Jim in Pokemon has his own retractable banner. Plus, we also had to kind of express print and express ship all of these, so it definitely added to the cost there, just because we didn't have too much notice. So in total for the three banners, we spent $536.77, which comes out to $268.38 per person. We split the cost of all three of those banners evenly. So my portion of that was $268.38. Next up, the table for the 2-day event was $150. I thought it was $150 per day, but it was actually $150 for the 2-day event, which in my opinion was an absolute steal. I definitely think the event organizers for Collecticon could charge a lot more for the tables and still sell out very quickly. But anyway, table for the 2-day event, $150, $75 per person. And then finally, originally I was borrowing a display case from a friend of mine. So I shipped it from Massachusetts down to the hotel in Texas, and then from the hotel down in Texas up to Massachusetts after the event. However, after I got back home from the event, I decided to purchase my own tabletop display case just because I'm going to be going to events in the future. So I really should have my own tabletop display cases. So I did end up purchasing one of them for now. I'm going to probably be purchasing more of them in the future. But all of those costs between shipping it down and back, plus purchasing my own, all that combined cost me $449. So the total costs for the event, everything included in order to get down to the event, stay at the event, and come home from the event, $2,316.08, which is a lot of money. However, there's a lot of these costs, or two of these costs aren't going to be further costs, meaning we're not going to have to buy a banner, a retractable banner going forward for future events, so we'll be able to eliminate that cost. We'll also be able to eliminate the cost of the tabletop display cases, so that'll be another cost we won't have to worry about going forward in the future. It'll mainly just be hotel stays, flights, and then the actual cost of the tables going forward, which it'll be a little bit cheaper, but it's still going to cost a decent amount of money, which I was actually surprised at how much it did cost to go down to this event. I was expecting it to be right around $1,500, but after everything was said and done, it was over $2,000, almost $2,500. So I was kind of surprised by how much it actually cost to go down to this event, but overall, it was definitely worth it. And next slide, we'll talk about how much I actually sold at the event. So sales throughout the weekend. Again, the event took place Saturday and Sunday. I really wish that I kept better records of everything that I sold at the event for what prices. I tried to keep my money, like my cash, separated from what I actually sold at the event versus what I was purchasing, like food and drinks and stuff like that. Tried to keep those cash piles separate. I did a pretty good job with that. However, I don't think these numbers are 100% accurate. I rounded down, so if anything, these numbers are lower than my actual sales, but they are fairly accurate, within a couple $100 or so. Going forward for future events, I'll definitely bring like a notepad and pen or something like that to record each individual sale, so we have an exact idea of how much I buy, how much I sell, how much I trade. But for this one, we're just going to go off of a fairly accurate rough estimate. So cash transactions throughout the weekend, $3,000. PayPal, Venmo, Apple Pay transactions, basically PayPal friends and family, $1,165 for all of those. One thing I did want to mention was the majority of people at the event had cash to purchase items. If they didn't have cash, they had PayPal, Venmo, Apple Pay, something like that. So it really wasn't a big deal, but there were a few people at the event who only had debit or credit cards. And I didn't have a Square. I don't have a Square with me to accept debit or credit card payments. So I missed out on a couple small sales because of that. I think going forward, I'm going to purchase one of those Squares that you attach to your phone so you can take debit or credit card payments. I don't think they're too expensive, too expensive. I haven't looked into it at all, but I think that would be a good thing to have at these events going forward. Again, there really wasn't too many people who didn't have cash or PayPal, Venmo, Apple Pay, something along those lines. So it was just a small minority of people. But I do think going forward, it would be a good idea to have one of those Square devices to accept debit or credit card payments. So that's going to be something that I look into for the future before I go to my second in-person event as a vendor. But anyway, aside from that, everything went smoothly. Total sales for the weekend, $4,165. This does not include the trades that I made during the weekend. I actually did a lot of trades throughout the weekend, which I really wasn't expecting. I was expecting to sell a lot. I was expecting to buy a little bit. I really wasn't expecting to do any trades, though, and I actually ended up doing a lot of trades. I'll get into everything that I purchased and traded for in just a second. I want to go over one more slide, and then we'll get into that. But yeah, I really wasn't expecting the amount of trades that I did throughout the weekend, and we'll get into that in just a second here. So before we get into the trades, I do want to talk about cost versus profit. So if we take the total sales throughout the entire weekend, $4,165, subtract the total costs, which included everything from the hotel stay, the round trip flight, the actual table, the banners, the tabletop display cases, all those costs combined, $2,316.08. Take the total sales, subtract the total costs, you get a total profit of $1,848.92. Now, this does not include the cost of goods, so this isn't my actual profit on how much I made on all of those cards. This is just taking into account how much I sold versus how much it cost me to go down to this event, leaving me with $1,848.92. Again, this does not include the trades, which there were a decent amount of trades, a lot more than I was expecting. And we'll get into the trades right now. So, in terms of trades, purchases, and freebies that I received at CollectCon, we'll start off with this guy, probably the coolest item. This one right here, we have a no damage Ninetales from Swami. This is Swami right here. This is actually when we did our, he did an interview with me. So he made up these PSA, or these cases right here. I thought this was super cool little gift. Thank you very much, Swami, if you watch this video, but he knew I was obsessed with the no damage Ninetales, so he kind of blurred out the damage on this Ninetales right here, and he did the same thing with this one. So this will definitely be going straight into the personal collection. Absolutely love this, so thank you again, Swami. Really do appreciate that right there. But anyway, getting into the actual trades that happened during CollectCon. First one, I forget what I traded for these two cards, but I've got this card right here from Unified Minds, one of the hyper rares in PSA Gem Mint 10. So I got that guy right there, and then I also got a PSA 10 Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno GX. This is the promo that comes in the Hidden Fates ETBs. But again, PSA 10 of that card right there. I forget what I traded for these two cards, but basically what I did with trades was I had all of my inventory priced out. Basically, I priced everything at the price that I had it listed on eBay for. And when people asked how much I was looking to get, I would tell them basically what offer I would accept. So if I had something priced at $200, I'd accept a best offer of $150. So I told them I'd take $150 for it. And then if they wanted to do a trade like this one, I basically took the eBay comps of these two cards and subtracted 20% from the latest sold listings, which basically leaves me a 10% margin to actually make money on these cards after all the eBay fees, managed payment fees, so on and so forth. So trades were actually pretty good in my favor. I want to say most of them were pretty even in terms of pricing. But I'll make a little bit of money on the trades that I did as well, which is always good. So got those two cards right there. Next up, we have a BGS 9.5 Special Delivery Pikachu. This one, I think I might hold on to. I think I might cross this over to CGC and hold on to this one just because I don't have a Special Delivery Pikachu in my collection. I think I might just hold on to this one. So there's that card right there. Awesome copy. Me, personally, not a huge fan of BGS, though, so I think I might cross this over to CGC and hope for a 9.95, somewhere around there. But yeah, probably going to cross that over to BGS and add that into my personal collection. Next up, though, we have these two cards. So we have two CGC cards. CGC Near Mint 7 Lugia from the Unlimited Neo Genesis set. Awesome card right there. And then we also have a CGC 6.5 Celebi Gold Star from EX Crystal Guardians. Another great card right there. This trade I actually did with Grubchew on Instagram, I believe his name was. And we traded these two cards right here for a CGC, I want to say 8.5 Rocket Suicune. I showed that card in my CGC return back a couple videos ago, but I actually traded these two cards for that one card. Fairly even trade, I think, but these were two good cards, so I was fine doing that trade, where these will sell really quickly, whereas these two cards probably will take a little bit more time to sell. But anyway, so I did that trade. That was another good one. And then I also did a trade for my, I believe it was my Poncho Pikachu Rayquaza box. It was either the Rayquaza box or the Gyarados box. I ended up selling both of those at the event, or trade/cash were both of those deals. But I believe this was the trade that we did for that, one of the Poncho Pikachu boxes. I got a Unlimited Neo Destiny pack. This is a light pack, which apparently you could still pull Shinings out of light packs. I did not know that until I watched one of TCA Gaming's semi-recent videos where he opened a light Unlimited Neo Destiny pack and pulled a Shining card. So you apparently can still pull Shining cards from light packs. So I did get that one. And then I also got a XY Ancient Origins booster box, factory sealed. I'm either thinking that I'll open this and sell art sets of the booster packs, or I'll just sell it as a booster box, because it is in pretty good condition overall. I haven't really quite decided what I want to do with that just yet, but I did get both of those, plus some cash for one of the Poncho Pikachu boxes, I believe, anyway. But anyway, next up, the final trade item that I received was this guy right here. PSA Near Mint Mint 8 First Edition base set Mewtwo. Almost said Ancient Mew there for a second. But yeah, so PSA 8 Mewtwo First Edition base set. Really can't go wrong there. Awesome card, awesome set. So that, I forget what I traded. I think I traded this card for a PSA 10 CD promo Charizard. No. Possibly. I forget. But anyway, yeah, I picked this card up in one of my trades. It was, he got one card plus some cash from me, and I got this card from him. It's been a while though. I forget what I did with that card, but that's everything that I have left that I traded. There were also a few other trades that I did at the event. Basically though, when I traded for something, I took that card that I received in trade, priced it out and put it in my display case. And these were just the ones that didn't sell at the event. So I'll list these up on eBay at some point in the future. But yeah, I also got a few other cards that were traded to me at the event. I put them in my display case and they sold. So I don't have those cards anymore, obviously. But then the one cool purchase that I made at the event was the second day at the event. Swolpoke Jeremy had a few PSA 10 First Edition base common cards that he was just looking to get rid of. So the second day of the event, he had 10 or 15 of these cards going into the event. He had someone buy a whole bunch of them off of him. And then the second day of the event, he had these 4 cards left. He was just looking to get rid of them. So he told me and Zach, Gemmin Pokemon, that if either one of us were interested, he'd sell these cards to us for $100 a piece. So 4 cards total, $400 for all 4 of them. And Zach was setting up his display case still. I don't know if he heard Jeremy say that, but I definitely heard him, and I scooped these 4 up right away before Zach could grab these. $100 a piece for First Edition base set, PSA 10 commons, absolute steal. So I'll pop these on eBay for probably $200 a piece or so, and see where they go. But yeah, absolute steal on PSA 10 First Edition base common cards. So I don't know if you watch my channel, Jeremy or Swolpoke, but if you do, thank you very much. Really do appreciate that. And yeah, hopefully you did well on those other cards that you were selling at the event. But anyway, that is everything that I purchased / traded for at the event. There were a few other loose cards that I also traded for, just a few WotC Holos in near mint condition, but I've already processed those and added them into my eBay inventory, so I didn't pull those out, but really nothing special there. This was the bulk of all the trades that I did, plus the little free gift that Swami gave me, which will be going right into the No Damage Ninetales collection. I thought that was super funny. I got a kick out of that. But anyway, now we'll get back into the second part of this video, talking about whether or not it was worthwhile to attend this event as a vendor. Okay, so taking everything into consideration, was it worthwhile to attend this event as a vendor? I kind of broke this up into multiple different categories. So first off, strictly monetarily, if you're strictly looking at being a vendor at one of these events to make money, have those sales, is it worthwhile? I would say yes and no. There was a lot of prep work involved with going to this event, both going to the event and returning home from the event. I spent a day or two sorting through all my eBay inventory before the event, picking out what I wanted to bring down, pricing all that stuff, packing all that stuff so it didn't get damaged during my flight down. And then after I got back home from the event, I had to take everything that I had left and kind of compare it to what I had listed on eBay to remove anything that I sold at the event. So that took another day or two between unpacking, getting back settled, sorting through everything that I sold to remove it from my eBay store so it didn't oversell, and then re-adding it into my eBay inventory to kind of keep everything organized. So took a couple days between prepping to go to the event and returning home from the event. It was a lot more work than I thought it would be. I also brought a lot more stuff than I should have. I probably could have brought about half of what I brought because I way overpacked for the event, for the amount of space that I had at this event. But yeah, so there's that. Plus, like I mentioned previously, I also had to shut down my eBay store. So I shut my eBay store down Thursday night, and then I reopened my eBay store Monday morning before I got home. So that way, anything that's sold Monday, I'd be able to ship out Tuesday. So I had to have my eBay store shut down for a couple days, which was tough. But if you're looking at it strictly from a monetary aspect, I probably could have made about the same amount on eBay as I did going to this event in terms of like my profit for going to this event. I probably could have made $1,800, $2,000 on eBay throughout that weekend. But so that's kind of why I say, if you're just looking at it from a monetary aspect, it's like 50-50 in terms of whether or not it's worthwhile to go to these events. There are definitely some perks about the in-person events, selling in person. You obviously get those cash deals. Cash is always king. So that's a huge perk right there, but it does involve a lot of work as well. So that's kind of why I said yes and no, if you're just looking at it from a monetary aspect. Next up, though, looking at it from kind of like building your brand and networking with different people, whether or not it's worthwhile, I would say absolutely 100% yes. Just to give a few examples, I handed out a ton of business cards. I gave away a ton of my stickers with my logo on it. And throughout the weekend, I gained over 200 new followers on Instagram, which was awesome. I didn't keep track of how many YouTube subscribers I had before the event versus after the event. So I couldn't tell you if I gained any new YouTube subscribers from the Collecticon event, but I gained a ton of Instagram followers from the Collecticon event, which was awesome. And then, like I said, handed out a ton of business cards, ton of my stickers, which was good. Hopefully, handing out those business cards and stickers will result in some future sales. They already have resulted in a few sales post Collecticon event. So that's always good. But in addition to that, kind of like with the networking aspect of this section here, one of the biggest things that happened to me throughout the entire weekend was Pokemon Radar John introduced me to someone from Whatnot, or one of the head people with Whatnot. And we got to talking over the course of the weekend, and he actually set me up as a Whatnot seller, which was absolutely incredible. I've already done my first 2 live streams on Whatnot. Had an absolute blast with both of the live streams. Made a decent amount of money selling on Whatnot, and I was able to sell a ton of inventory over the course of a couple hours selling on Whatnot. So Whatnot is definitely going to become another aspect of my business that I think is going to do really good in the future. And had it not been for me going to Collecticon, I don't know if I ever would have became a Whatnot or a seller on Whatnot. I had previously known about Whatnot, the Whatnot app. I was on there as just kind of someone who would watch the live streams. I think I purchased 1 or 2 items beforehand, but I really never considered being a seller on Whatnot until I went down to the CollectCon event, was talking with Pokemon Radar John, who told me I should get on there as a seller. And then later that day, or maybe the next day, he introduced me to one of the heads of TCG for Whatnot. So we got to talking after that, and I was listening to what he was saying, and he pretty much convinced me immediately to get on Whatnot as a seller, which I did, and I have enjoyed every minute of it thus far. Like I said, I've only done 2 live streams thus far, but definitely planning on continuing that going forward in the future. But I'll do a whole other video on like being a seller on Whatnot and kind of the pros and cons of that whole app right there. But anyway, next up we have outside of the whole business aspect. Was it worthwhile? 100%, absolutely yes. Got to see a lot of my Pokemon friends who I had met previously, mainly from Worlds down in DC back in 2019. Got to meet a ton of new Pokemon friends who either I'd met or had interacted with previously, just kind of texting or emailing or messaging or whatever online, but I'd never actually met. Got to meet a lot of people like that. And then also people that I'd never interacted with beforehand. Got to meet a lot of new people, which was awesome. And then finally, I also got to meet a lot of you guys, my YouTube followers, which was absolutely incredible. Really can't explain how much I was blown away by all of the positive comments towards my YouTube channel. I know I've mentioned this in a couple videos in the past, but me personally, I'm really not a big fan of my YouTube channel. I don't know if it's just I don't like hearing myself talk, or if it is the videos or whatever. I know I could definitely improve the videos. It's just the amount of time involved with that whole editing process. Really don't have the time to devote to that just yet. It's going to happen at some point in the future, once everything kind of settles down for me. But anyway, I was absolutely blown away by all the positivity towards my YouTube channel. How many people came up to me saying that they were subscribed to my YouTube channel, they enjoy my videos. Got a lot of comments towards the eBay sales videos that I do. Really glad that you guys enjoy those videos. I'll definitely continue pumping those out every month. We'll try and get those better than my June eBay sales video, where it was basically in August by the time I uploaded that. But anyway, a lot of positive comments towards those videos. A lot of positive comments towards the podcast that me and Catch 'em All Collectibles do, which is awesome. We're definitely going to be continuing those podcasts as well. It was just a lot of fun meeting everyone who said they were subscribed to my channel and liked my videos. Really did kind of boost my morale towards YouTube. Made me realize that maybe I'm just my own worst critic. Maybe my videos aren't as bad as I think they are, and it just kind of gave me motivation to continue with YouTube. Not that I was thinking about quitting YouTube or anything, but it really did mean a lot for you guys to come up to me, say hi, tell me how much you enjoyed my YouTube channel, whatnot. Got to talking with you. Maybe did some trading, maybe did some selling, but super happy to have met all of my, or as many as my YouTube followers as possible. That was absolutely awesome. Thank you guys very much. Really do appreciate it. And then finally, before I end this video, it was also a kind of mini vacation and break from the day-to-day grind of just selling online, communicating via email or messaging or whatever. It was really nice to have that in-person event where you were actually able to talk to people, interact with people, check out cards in person. It was just an absolute blast. It was a whole weekend devoted to Pokemon, which was absolutely incredible. Had so much fun. So basically, whether or not it was worthwhile, I would say as a vendor, it was definitely worthwhile. as a kind of like a spectator, a person just going, I would highly recommend you going to one of these events if possible in the future. Me personally, I am going to continue vending at these types of events. I'm probably not going to do it super often. However, once or twice a year, I'll go to an event as a vendor, and then I'll probably do 1 or 2 events just as a spectator as well. So hoping to do like 4 events a year, 2 events as a vendor and 2 events as a spectator. That kind of, I think that'd be a good kind of metric to keep it around. But yeah, so absolutely worthwhile. I know the event organizers for CollectCon have already planned their next event, which will be taking place later this year, October 16th and 17th, 2021, down in Houston, Texas. And then they're already planning for next year. They're planning 4 or 5 events in various cities across the country. They haven't released any of the cities or dates just yet, but that'll be coming soon. If you're interested in ever going to one of these CollectCon events, definitely give them a follow on Instagram. That's where you'll get your most current, up-to-date information in terms of when the events are taking place, where they're taking place, who's going to the events, so on and so forth. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was worth the month wait. And like I said, for future in-person events, I'll definitely keep better track of how much I'm buying, how much I'm selling, how much I'm trading to give you guys those more accurate numbers. But like I said, the numbers within this video were fairly accurate within a couple $100 or so. But anyway, thank you guys very much. Really do appreciate all the support, and I will see you in the next one.